Welcome back to the Permaculture Plant Paradise. It's the middle of February and I'm at the beginning of my plot, and after months of hard work I finally cleared all of the forest until the end of the plot. 150 meters long along the east side of my border wall will be this driveway. Not only will this road provide access throughout the plot, but it'll also function as a fire break to protect the farm from fire. Because this area is full of huge stones and rocks, I'm gonna need a big old strong excavator to clear out this road. Luckily I found a guy who's willing to help me with a big excavator, and he's coming in a couple of weeks to dig this road. At the northeast corner of my plot, the road will end up at the bottom here. Along the north side of my plot there is an ancient roadway which has been constructed in the late Bronze Age. When the road comes down from there, I want it to curve left into the new path so I can access that way as well. I'm very happy with this ancient pathway along the north of my border because the terrain here is very rough and it saves a lot of work to create a path here. Here you can clearly see the remnants of the ancient border walls. All of the material that is cut down will not go to waste because biomass is very important. I've mulched up a lot of it into these wood chip piles and saved up a bunch of the bigger sticks and branches. My land is on this mountain, which is a karstic plateau. That means that the whole ground is made out of limestone. And because this forest has been cut down a long time ago, all of the topsoil has just been drained out and there's barely any left. Before I can grow an abundance of fruit and vegetable, I need to make an abundance of new soil. I'll be using the method of Hugelkultur, where you make a huge mound of wood and then cover it in soil and compost and simply grow on top. And you can choose to either dig a hole and put the material in there, or just put the material on top of the ground and make a mound. And because digging in rock is not the easiest thing to do, I think I'll just be putting it on top of the ground. Right next to my big dough line, I found this natural low-laying area which is next to a couple of mounds, and that means that I can just fill it up and create more depth of the soil. As you can see, I've already cleared the area of growth, and now what I want to do is remove as many rocks as possible so that we can use that for a border wall around this Hugelkultur. So now I'll spend some time cleaning up most of these rocks here and then placing them around the circumference of this roughly 50 square meter area. And then it'll be time to fill it up with all of the material. I'm trying to get most of the big rocks out of this low-laying area. Some of them are really big and a bit under the ground, but it's worth it to get them to construct the border wall. Damn, that's a big one. I've been removing rocks and planting them around the border of this area, and now I think it's pretty much alright, and it's time to take all of the wood and all of the trunks and leaves and mulch and put them in the middle. First I'll put in these piles of small twigs, branches and leaves because they will compress on the bottom below all of the heavy wood, and it's a good way to get rid of these ugly piles. I'm also raking up all of the leaves and twigs here on the area where the road will be constructed to harvest all the biomass, because otherwise it would go to waste. I've been filling up mostly the deepest parts of this area with the twigs and leaves, and now it's time to put in the big branches. So I'm gonna try to do the least amount of effort as possible and just put them in as long as possible so I don't have to chainsaw them. I'm gonna try to align all of the logs so that they're as compact as possible. Alright, I've been stacking wood here and walking up and down from my wood pile for more than 2 days. Now I got both of these areas filled up pretty flat, and before I keep on stacking more wood, I'm just gonna fill up the empty spaces with a little bit of wood chips. This Hugelkultur bed for the permaculture will be absolutely amazing. I still want to fill it a half a meter more with big sticks. They are up there in 2 big piles. Here at the northeast end will be the Hugelkultur growing bed, and a little further I have prepared an area which will be the first vegetable garden area. The Hugelkultur mound is really a long-term project. But the spring is coming, so I want to start growing some vegetables now. So I got this area all cleaned up. I took all of the stones out and put them to the side, and I marked this nice rectangular area. The area is located 6 meters south of the dough line wall, and its dimensions are 5 meters by 10 meters. The next step here on my first veggie field is to loosen up the soil and remove the biggest rocks and roots. And I also got a couple stumps to remove, and that's hard work. And now that the soil is all loosened up, I can take the rocks and throw them out. Filter out the rocks, keep the soil. Perfect. After a lot of hard work, I managed to clear out almost everything that was in the way here, and now it's mostly flat. So I'm gonna start adding some layers. First off, I'm gonna add some of this rough wood chips just to even everything out and create a nice little layer of wood chips, and then I'm gonna add some finer wood chips and then soil. It felt so good clearing out this patch of land that I cleared out another patch of land next to it. This will be the first growing area for annual crops, and next to it I want to make a hangout area with a lounge set to chill. I want to cover this patch in wood chips as well, and then I'll find a nice sofa and put it right there. Now that the veggie bed area is nice and flat and full of wood chips, I'm gonna make some raised vegetable beds out of wood, just so that I can add an extra layer of soil and compost. I'm gonna do that with these old pieces of rest oak wood. You might have recognized them from an earlier episode where I made some benches. Step 1 is to square off these uneven pieces and then cut them on my circular saw. Now the sides are nice and parallel. I can square off the ends, put the saw to a 45-degree angle and make a miter cut. I got 2 miter cuts on the end of the wood and they fit together perfectly, and now it's time to drill some holes so that I can use screws to fix this joint. And I'm using some outdoor wood glue for some extra strength. There you go. The first vegetable bed is complete. I'm just going to round over these edges with this grinder tool. Alright, this looks really nice. I got my first garden bed finished. The plan is to make a bunch of these, some square ones and some longer rectangular ones. So I'll just do it like that. There you go, I got 3 of them. Now I'm gonna make some rectangular ones. Unfortunately, I ran out of wood making my wooden growing beds, but instead of filling this whole area with beautiful wooden boxes, I'll just make normal vegetable beds instead. I used a couple of stones to mark where I want to make my beds. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. And now I just gotta find a whole lot of compost and soil. I just spread out some soil along the borders of these growing beds. Now you can clearly see that I have space for 4 beautiful parallel beds. Alright, I just went ahead and added some wood chips on the second area. It looks absolutely amazing here, so cozy between the gnarly rocks and burnt trees. I've got fine wood chip in this area and more rough wood chip in the growing area. It's looking absolutely amazing here. I'm super happy with the results. Now I'm gonna wait for the excavator to make my road so I can continue with the works, getting soil, putting the lounge here and other stuff. I'm also gonna keep going with the Hugelkultur, but that's gonna be in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching and we'll see you next time.